All right, so check it out, y'all. So basically, and I hope that we can see this. Yeah. So basically, I want to do just a quick breakdown for you of how I actually just trade. So what I do, what I'm doing right now is that I'm essentially looking at. I started with the weekly, and this is something that I came across. Probably, I want to say I came across it a couple times within like I want to say the last 6 months, but like I really over this last year said I was going to take my trading journey a lot more seriously, and I noticed like I since I've been trading for years now, I always do the best when I trade more so support and resistance, and I go for bigger moves. Not necessarily swing trading because it's kind of hard to swing indices because of how volatile they are, but I do find that it's easier to catch, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 plus points if you trade from certain levels. So basically what I'm doing here is that I'm outlining that I start off with the weekly, and I start off by either I focus on touches, which are direct touches here on both sides, or I'm focusing on like a break and just not even like a break and retest and continuation, but more so a breakthrough and then reversal or gaps, right? So the touches would have to actually be on both sides. I'm looking for my touches to be on both sides. So so I'm essentially just like regular support and resistance. I'm looking for support and I'm looking for resistance across the board. And the reason that I start off from the weekly, because I mean, if you like just with trading in general, you want to start off with a higher time frame, but like you would be more used to like a swing trader starting off on a weekly and kind of looking down. But I'm starting off on a weekly more so to just mark off like strong, very, very just strong levels. The weekly, from what especially with indices, I notice, I noticed that like they respect the weekly and the daily support levels, more so the weekly. Like, and once we go from leave the weekly level, we go from that level like in whatever direction, bullish or bearish, we go in that direction at least 3,000 or more points, or 300 or more pips. So I do top down. So from there, I start from the top. We got our two touches, as you can see here and here. And as I'm labeling it right now, like touches have to be on both sides. And so you definitely want to start from the top. You don't have to really start like you're gonna see me going even back further into 2022. But what I've noticed over the years of trading that I have, like when I do the best again when I look very, very long term, like the market oftentimes, like a lot of the times, is gonna repeat itself, whether it's gonna repeat itself over a few weeks or it's gonna repeat itself over a few months. Like if you look at the market from the time that Forex started, it's not like the stuff that it's doing is not new. Like it's fluctuating up and down all the time, and it has these levels, right? These key levels or whatever, right? So I look for the touches on both sides, or if I get three strong touches, like three resistance levels or three support levels, I'm gonna have a line marked off. So the black lines represent my weekly level, and then and then like I'm gonna have red lines to represent my daily levels, and then I'm gonna have green lines to represent my so we and then I'm gonna have green lines to represent my actual 4 hour levels. Now I don't put anything on the 1 hour at all. I don't put anything on the 1 hour at all because like as you see me break it down, it's gonna get a lot more noisy. um just like the levels are going to get a lot more noisy, and it's just like it can be kind of just difficult so to kind of just get it through. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So let me see if actually let's do this like this. So let's finish marking these off. Just gonna skip ahead. And I already marked these off. Like I was having some tech issues earlier with my mic, so I have to go back and kind of just redo the audio over them. But as you can see for NASDAQ, if you trade NASDAQ, we're pretty much in we were in a very much so bearish market, and technically still there because we haven't broken major support. We haven't broken this major support line at 12,734. We really haven't broken that line to the upside. And I feel like once you now we might do that this week, who knows? But we haven't as far as yet. It looks like it still could be technically depending on how you look at structure. Because that's what's so crazy to me about Forex. Forex is a lot about how you look at structure, how you perceive the market. And so like I'm not this market guru or anything like that because I definitely lose trades like other people lose trades and I win trades. But what I've noticed since I've been marking my charts up this way instead of just like, and this helps a lot with scalping because I scalp at times. This helps a lot with scalping. This helps a lot with holding, being more so on holding your trades for just throughout the day. It helps a lot. So if you're intraday and not necessarily like again like a swing trader, you're not looking to necessarily hold for a couple of days, but this definitely helps marking your key levels off this way. Let's see. I don't know what I was doing here. Let's jump ahead. All right, cool. So it looks like we're down on the daily now, and I'm actually about to start marking off. So we got a level here, multiple touches, um, and then like I said, I'm gonna change my daily levels to red. Um, so and you can and once like if you go through the market, you start off with the line chart, and then you go through, you'll see why like I have the three like I have the just the touch, and then I have the breakthrough, and then I have the gap. Again, this is not like I was exposed to a video like this, and I thought it was really really enlightening. Like it definitely changed my trading, and I was exposed to it probably at least 3 or 4 times, but it didn't click until I was like, okay, I'm gonna really really take trading serious. Now, keep in mind that like when I say I've been trading for years, I've been trading for years off and on, but this year I said I was gonna really, really stick with it. Honestly, the last like I want to say 6 to 8 months, I said I was gonna stick with it. So for the last 6 to 8 months, I've been taking my trade a lot more seriously, and I've definitely seen results. I know what I really, really like to trade now. I am gonna mark up a few like regular pairs, regular forex pairs, but you're primarily gonna see me marking up indices. Like after I get done with this Nasdaq, I'm gonna mark up US 30. I tend to like as over the last couple of weeks, over the last couple of months, I've really after doing some back testing, I really have been rocking with US 30 and Nasdaq. If you notice, if you pay attention to like you have like certain pairs that kind of like um trend with each other, and that's the same thing when it comes to like the Nasdaq and US 30 and S&P 500. They'll kind of be going in like the same direction. And so pretty much it all has to do with like what they're comprised of. So I I this is not like, and I don't, if any, more advanced traders watching this, of course, you already probably knew that, but this is honestly for the beginners. Like, this video is for the beginner trader. Like, I wish I had saw this breakdown like years ago when I started. Like, I started during the pandemic, and it would have made trading so much more simple because now, like, you're looking at all the lines and but it'll come together once I get off of the line chart because realizing that, like, I realize that like I do best with support and resistance or supply and demand. Some people argue that it's pretty much the same thing. I'm not here for like to do all that. I see the differences in both, but I like though that's pretty much what I trade. Of course, I mean you got your like Like with the support and resistance stuff, you're looking for essentially like you're looking for breakouts. Like I'm looking for a break and retest, or a breakout. If we've been consolidating or whatever the case may be. So, and then now we've dropped down to the 4 hour, and like as you see, it gets a little bit more noisy and not necessarily harder to read. But if I get like a zone that's I want to say like close. So if you get like a zone that's close to a weekly or a daily, that's probably going to be one of your stronger levels. And I mean, when you test it out, like you can back test this, it like really works, like really, really works. Now, me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't back test it. I back tested other strategies, but I really didn't I back tested this, but I didn't back test it probably as long as maybe quote unquote I should. But as far as the noticing that when we get to these stronger levels, when we get to like a daily level and a 4 hour level, or a weekly level and a daily level, like it's gonna be a stronger level. It's gonna hold. Like that is again things that like the because as a new trader, you're looking to you honestly you just want to come in the market and make money. You seen all these other people make money. You seen these people with Lambos. You seen these people with vets. You seen these people, you know what I'm saying, cashing out $1,000 a day, 1,500 a day, 30,000 months. You seeing all of this stuff, right? And you want to do the same thing. To be honest, like you want to do the same thing, and I want to say that like it's possible, definitely possible, because I've grown like smaller accounts, like $300-400 account to like 2,000 in like 3 days, and that may not be a lot, but for a new trader that's never put anything into an account, like very much so possible. But I just want you to understand that like once you like be patient. That's what I've really like. Be patient with this style of with trading support and resistance. Just be patient. If it's not near your level or it hasn't come to that gap, don't like. I can't tell you what trades not to take. But if it's me, I notice that if I'm jumping in, if I'm super aggressive instead of just waiting for it to get to my zone, my gap, or my area, like I'm gonna lose. I tend to lose that trade. But I do notice that I'm winning the most trades when I'm trading from a weekly level or a daily level. I don't really like to trade because what I'm going for is when I'm trading the Nasdaq and when I'm trading to be honest, I'm going for 200 plus pips or 2,000 plus points. Same thing, but that's what I'm going for. Like I'm going for the big move because I'm not a funded trader. I can of course I'm thinking strongly considering getting a funded account, but I'm not a funded trader, and it's by choice though. It's like really I just really want to grow my own account as far as I can take it, and so for my own accounts. So, but I know that I can catch those sorts of moves, and I'm going to display that with I'm going to display that in a second here. But I can know that I can catch those sorts of moves if I'm trading from that daily level or that weekly level of support or resistance, because I most of the times, like if this daily move that's right here all the way up to this next to the third daily move, it like that's a big move. It's a lot of big moves here. So let me actually skip. I'm gonna jump ahead. So let me see. So we are let's all right, cool. So I'm on an hour now, and let's change this to candlesticks. And then I want you to just pay attention to like look at the rejections off of these levels. Look at the rejections off of these levels. Now, if you can't scalp these moves, like this is perfect for a scalper. This is perfect for if you want to buy and hold for a little bit, sell and hold, like whatever. If you want to swing trade it intraday, like whatever, it's perfect for you, right? In my eyes, because I definitely scalp some moves, but my scalps are not like the standard 10 to 15 pips that you hear a lot of scalpers doing, only because I'm not trading a super large account. I'm starting off with multiple smaller accounts. Granted, I am considering going a funded route, but trading is not my end all be all. Like a lot of people that just want to focus on trading, it's not my end all be all because I have other things like starting out. it's not my end all be all because I have other sources of revenue that I do. I have other businesses, I have real estate. So it's not just like that's it for me. But with me saying that I'm going to take trading more seriously, it's essentially like, I mean, it's essentially like something that I'm going to be doing a lot more. But if you pay attention, look at the wicks around all of these levels. Look at the wicks around all of these levels. Like, just look at the wicks that you see. And that's how you know, like, we're like, as you just saw here, we had a red zone and we had a daily zone and a 4 hour zone, and we had that strong wick. But then we had, it came out like that's an hourly demand right there, essentially. And we shot up a lot. That's at least a, a 4,000, um, a 4,000 point move. And it's a lot of those moves like that coming from those stronger levels. Even when you look, because I think I'll show another one coming up here in a second. Yeah, I just wish that my system was working properly. When I created this video, nothing was working. Video wasn't working, nothing was working. But yeah, so like I brought it back out, but just look at the wicks from the zones. Look at how this daily level right here is being respected. So I mean, it definitely works, right? Let's skip ahead though. Let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead. We don't need to see that. All right, so I'm gonna do the same exact markup with US 30. Start off with the weekly. Start off with the weekly. Draw our lines. We got multiple touches. Boom. Multiple touches. Like I said, sometimes I'm gonna like you don't necessarily have to go as far back as I'm going. It's just this is just what works for me, because I like to see what from a history standpoint what the market is doing, especially when these aren't like these are more so like this is almost like trading stocks, because these are essentially like companies, right? So it's not like trading your standard pairs. So it's like stocks have stocks just like pairs have their history, but but stocks definitely, because you're dealing with companies and quarters and things like that. Certain companies do better in certain quarters. So I feel like I put some fundamental behind it. Like over the last couple of weeks, I definitely have been paying attention to what the fundamental does. We just came out of like NFP and everything like that. So I'm paying attention to the fundamentals and how they're affecting these markets, right? But like look at the wicks at these daily levels. I mean these weekly levels. Like just noticing what the market is actually doing, and trading what you see and not what you want to see, but at what you actually see. Like look at that gap there. You got a gap here. And what I'm doing right now is I was testing to see like, well, how much, like if to see like the wicks from the gap, but you definitely see them. You definitely see the wicks. That's where those gaps were. You definitely it wicks there. You got the wicks here, and then you got the wicks here, right at those gaps, and that's what and that's what you're gonna primarily gonna see when you see the gaps. You're gonna see wicks. So very much so, like definitely, man, probably would have saved me thousands and thousands and thousands and blown account after blown account after blown account if I had a really took after this. But what's crazy is that I've seen people do this, but it takes time for stuff to click, and that's where it comes in as just like with trading, like you got to be patient. Like you have to be patient. I've had a 4-figure week because I was patient. Even though I've been trading for years, it takes time to get there because it wasn't like I was seriously trading for years. When I first started trading, I was doing a bunch of stuff I shouldn't have been doing in terms of like I was coming off of being a gambler. It was a lot of stuff going on. I was still smoking heavily, drinking heavily, and it just, the focus wasn't there like it needed to be. But now the discipline, the focus, the patience is there. So it's like, okay, I see the weeks that I'm supposed to see. I see the days that I'm supposed to see. I see the losses that I'm supposed to see when I'm impatient. You know what I mean? It definitely has its moments, but I want to say over the last week, I caught like probably about 4,000 points, which is over 400 pips. Trading between like NAS and US 30, but the week before that was, whew, it was rough. I ain't gonna lie, it was rough. But this has definitely helped me. I definitely hope it helps you. Um, I don't know what I was doing here. I'm tripping because these supposed to be red. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change them. Yeah, I'm sure I changed them because they're definitely supposed to be red. There we go, they're red now. But yeah, like look at all the levels. Look at all the levels, all the touches. It's crazy. It's like this is going. If you trade support and resistance, even if you trade supply and demand, it's going to help you with this too. Because then you can tell where the impulsive moves are easier, and it's like, oh, okay, well I know that this is a demand zone, a 4 hour demand, or hourly demand, or daily demand, or weekly demand, right? It's just gonna make your trading so much easier by like um marking up. So essentially, if like I said, the markets, they're both kind of trading in the same direction. Why I'm kind of iffy on Nas being bearish, like we're on you. This is the US 30 chart, but why I'm iffy on Nas being not bearish but bullish is because I'm kind of iffy on it is because of where US 30 is hit it. It's kind of hit it on a it's looking bearish, but at the same time, when you look from a weekly perspective, it's definitely, I mean, it's potentially looking bullish, like long term, but like right now, it's looking very much so. We're very much so bearish, in my opinion. Um, from on US 30, but it's just kind of it's a lot of indecision because of it was a lot of movement this past week. It definitely was a lot of movement in this last week or whatever the case may be. It definitely was a lot of movement. So and a lot of this too is me testing like when I go further back into like 2022, it's just testing like so I know like okay, are these companies are they respecting these levels from 6 months ago, 3 months ago? You know when because I mean granted we're in a recession. You know we're in a recession right now, so it's like I think this is one of the best ways to make money while in a recession. But again, we got to know what the hell we're doing, right? You really need to know what you're doing. But like, yeah, like we haven't broke structure up in this area. Hopefully you can see my mouse. We haven't broke structure up in this area to kind of if once we break this structure, okay, we're for sure bearish, but we might be bullish. So it's kind of just like at a really even though if you look at these downtrends and here we haven't broken up to the upside. So I mean, I guess you could say yeah, we're very much so bullish, but looking when you look at Nas, Nas was close to breaking structure. So I mean, I definitely advise you to just go back if you do trade Nas or you want to trade Nas and go back and take a look, especially because I just said that they kind of trade in the same direction for the most part. But I've kind of this past week because I had such a tough week with Nas, like I was like, okay, I had to step back and see what I was doing wrong. And a lot of the stuff that I was doing wrong with Nas was just I was getting in too early, but US 30 was moving way smoother. So I'm like, yo, let me just roll with US 30 for now. But look at that move there. Look at these moves. Like from the weekly to weekly, or even the weekly to the 4 hour zone, one of the 4 hour zones, that was like 700 pips. Like these moves are massive when you mark off your chart like this. They are massive and you have the ability to catch them. Look at how much the market moved in a day. In 4 days, in 4 days it moved 632 pips. Like in a week, right? And imagine if you can just catch the move. you catch the whole thing because you know based on the levels, the support and resistance levels that they've been holding for weeks, for months, that they good. All right, now let's take a look at let's take a look at let's take a look at Euro JPY. It's the same thing. Same thing. Euro JPY is clearly bullish right now, and bullish, but also kind of trading in a zone, in a kind of like almost trying to consolidate in between here. If you can see my mouse, in between 144.90, 144 and like one, probably like 137.50, around somewhere around that area, or 138. It's pretty much trying to consolidate in between there, but also consolidate from a bullish standpoint. We haven't really broken major structure, which would be around the 139, 138 ish area. We haven't broken that major structure yet, so I feel like we're still pretty bullish. We until we break that major structure, in my eyes, we're still bullish. But I'm doing the same thing. I'm breaking down I'm looking at the weekly, and then I'm going on and just breaking it down. That's it. It's the same thing, and this works with your pairs too. So let's look at what I mark. How look at how the daily looks. Right. Look at all these touches on the daily. Like look at all these touches on the daily, and I know a lot of people that trade like Euro JPY, UJ. Like a lot of people trade UJ. I trade UJ. A lot of people trade GJ. I trade GJ. That's why I'm marking these up, right? And like this is what I'm expecting because I missed some major moves on GJ. But I'm like with trading NAS and US 30, it's like I honestly trying to trading, like I probably once a week may trade London and New York, because if I do that, I'm literally staying up. I'm trading London and then I'm going to the gym and then I'm coming back trading New York, and that's a lot. It's a lot. But like if I see some really really good setups, like I'm expecting the market to be really really smooth this week. I don't see any news coming out this week, any major news coming out, so I'm expecting the market to just do its thing. I'm expecting it to come back to some key levels and and just really do its thing. Like the market is gonna pay. It not like I feel like it's gonna start paying like even more than it's already been paying. The market is always paying depending on what side of it you're on. But I feel like it's gonna be coming into the second quarter is you're gonna see a lot more like just smoother trades, just like looking at the past, because I'm looking so many months back, from doing my chart breakdowns, my weekly chart breakdown to now, and like I'm just updating this every single weekend based on whatever. Because again, I'm starting off with the weekly, so there's gonna be weekly moves that are gonna have been made that could affect, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. So I'm gonna be doing these markups every single week. Um, and then I'm going to start sharing more of my actual trades. I have a few videos that where I share my trades, but I haven't got around to editing them yet. I kind of wanted to record myself trading, get some live trading recordings in. But it's going to be kind of, I don't know what's going on with my computer. My computer is not taking MetaTrader 4 is not it's tripping on my computer. So if anybody got any thoughts on how I can get that, it's always telling me no connection. So if anybody got any thoughts on how I can get that fixed, then otherwise I'm gonna just keep trading for my iPad and my phone. We'll keep placing my trades for my iPad and my phone. I definitely um, do my chart markups on, as you can see, TradingView. Like who doesn't, right? But I do my chart markups on TradingView, but I execute my trades on in MetaTrader. But I would like to do it on from my computer. It'd just be way easier because of the screen that I have. It'd be so much easier to just execute them from my computer, have multiple screens up. Because I'm even thinking about adding a computer screen right now. Um, And eventually I'll do like a something looking at my trade setup. But that move that we're looking at, this, if you can see my mouse, this major move coming up from like the 144 area all the way down to like the 140 area, that happened in one night. That happened in one night, and that's the move that I'm talking about. That like I missed out on because I had my chart set up for it. And I don't know what I was doing. Like I said, that's why trading London and New York is very challenging, very very challenging for me. But same thing. Start off with the weekly on GJ, um, and on like I noticed too, because your pairs don't move as much as like you're not gonna see all the touches that you may want to see, but that's good though. It's like it makes it a lot easier. You know then that where they're going, and then you can Google and you can go to Chat GPT and see how much your pairs move. They have I believe the ATR tells you how much they've been moving like lately or whatever. Like they have indicators that tell you that, and then you can Google it. They have websites that tell you that, like how much on average these pairs move. And if you just pay attention to the market, you'll know like so like I expect these pairs to move in London session any like at least a minimum of 70 pips. At least a minimum of 70 pips. And it's not always like that, but a minimum in London session. You may get a lot more depending on news and all these different factors, but definitely like know how much your pairs move that you decide to trade on and kind of just be aware of that. Like I know for the most part, NASDAQ and US 30, they're gonna move at least at minimum 125 pips or 1200 points every day at minimum. And in either direction, at minimum. It kind of just almost never fails, right? So I go into the market looking to capture or a percentage of them or all of them, depending on what's going on that day. And it's not even being like a greedy thing or anything like that. It's at all like it's with me with my trading style of trading support and resistance. I'm trading key level to key level. Like I'm literally trading. It's the same thing if you're trading supply and demand. You're going to take that demand all the way up into the supply. You're going to take the supply pretty much to the demand. Like, or if you trade fibs, you're going to take it from the negative 61 to the negative 27, right? You're going to take it from like the rejection areas to from the 50 to negative 27 or whatever. Like, so it's all the same thing. Give your trades room to breathe. I was listening to somebody about trading, and they were saying that like they always hold all their positions for an hour, and I was noticing. I'm like, yo, I was testing like my old trading style to my newer trading style because my old trading style was 100% scalping, but it was giving me too much anxiety. Like it was just too much because it's like you have to be so precise with scalping. And I'm like, well, what if I'm just going after a bigger move? Because most of the time, anyway, the real move is the move that I see, which is the longer move. So I'll hold, for a couple hours or an hour or two and catch the full thing, especially when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna trade indices. And I noticed that when I don't scalp the indices like I do, I tend to do a lot better. Like especially if I'm trading them from a key level, like a weekly level or a daily level. The 4 hour levels, if I'm looking at a 4 hour level, I'm scalping that. I'm looking to scalp that, honestly. But if I'm looking at a weekly level or a daily level, depending on the time that it is, I am looking to hold that thing. Especially if we coming fresh out of New York session and we at a weekly level or a daily level, and we're rejecting that weekly or daily level to the upside or downside, whatever, I know that we're gonna go up. That what I am based on my confluences, based on where everything's are, from what I've seen, from the back testing and the things that I've seen, the market generally moves up to that next key level, whether it's 100 pips away, 125 pips, or sometimes it goes even further than that and just like takes completely off. Now, I'm not looking to, if it takes completely off, I'm not looking to catch the whole move. I'm just looking to catch whatever that the market is giving, like whatever that is given. Some people say whatever I'm satisfied with. I'm looking to catch whatever I'm satisfied with. But most of the time, if I know that I'm at that weekly or that daily level, I'm more comfortable with holding for a full 100 points, for a full 125 points, for a full 200 points, for a full, because in one day I had caught like, I caught like 230 points on US 30. So it's like I'm comfortable catching those if I know we're at that daily level. Like, because if you just pay attention to the daily levels and the weekly levels, like the market moves from those levels, especially the weekly levels. Like it moves. Like if you can see my mouse, it moved from this weekly level up here to 161 area back down to the, I want to call it the 161 area back down to the man, I done moved it around so quick. So back to like the 160 area really quick. So that's 1100 quickly, just real quick, coming from the weekly level to weekly level. Like you can catch really, really big moves. You can catch really, really big moves. So I don't know. I've seen videos like supporting resistance doesn't work, stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I'm not here to argue with nobody on the channel, or I don't really care about none of that. It's working for me. So, and hopefully, if you try it and you figure it out and you back test it, hopefully it can work for you too. Um, Again, it's just I'm just trading level to level. That just makes it so much easier for me. And if the level I'm trading to the next level, holding, if I see my rejections, if I see like it's really, really strongly rejecting that level based on confluences, based on what I'm seeing, because I'm trading what I see and not what I believe or quote unquote feel. I'm really, really working on that from a psychological standpoint. It's trading less of what I feel and just more of what I see. Then I mean that's how I'm taking the market. That's how I'm taking the market. So these are just pretty much the setups. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got in this video, y'all. I hope this helps, a newbie trader out there that's really just getting into it, that doesn't really know what to do, doesn't really quite understand like the support and resistance stuff. Hopefully you get it. Um, you know, so yeah.